Hello, ladies, men, non-binary friends. This video is 2 weeks late and a buck short because I filmed it 3 times and hated every single version of it, but the topic is really important to me, so I wanted to talk about it and do it justice. Some non-important things before we get into the video. I look like a cheerleader. It's just dawned on me with my curly hair and my giant hair bow and my tie-dye shirt. I look like a girl going to cheer camp. Ignore that. We're gonna roll with it. And then the other thing, I was making myself a smoothie and I sliced my thumb on a yogurt lid, and I didn't have a real band-aid, so we have a paper towel and a blister band-aid. So if you're wondering what happened. So with that, we are talking about my yearly goal, which is to quit shopping. There are a lot of reasons I wanted to enact this in my life. Some of them are environmental, most of them are financial. And the reality is that I actually think that I'm addicted to it. I get a weird high when I find a deal, or when I find a bunch of coupons. Well, that's a deal. Or I find that perfect item that I've been looking for, but I've already spent like X, Y, and Z amount of money because I never stop looking at websites. And I'm not being flippant about the word addiction. It's definitely a problem. So that brings us to the first section, which is the addiction part of it. Like I said, shopping is fun. I think that if you do it in moderation, it's totally fine to get enjoyment out of it, but the moderation part is what's missing. Like I said, every single day I am on a different website looking for something to fulfill whatever it is, and I mostly think it's boredom because I doom scroll forever and like content isn't good. But you know what's always fun? Looking at new things. I think that's part of it. And then also I lack the impulse control. When I see a deal, I'm like, well, I can't pass it up, because why would you pass it up when you would save the amount of money that you spent? Like, you don't spend any money if you just let the deal go by instead of being like, oh, look what I got. I don't know. It's flawed logic, and I can justify any purchase, and I'm not. That's where the problem is. The fact that I'm like, I can justify anything to make it seem like a necessity when the reality is that it's not a necessity. So yeah, if that sounds familiar to you, don't worry. I think that a lot of people market off of this, and like that's how they make their careers. A lot of influencers, specifically the ones that like exclusively shop at Amazon, I think kind of market on that. It's like, oh, it's so cheap, it's so affordable, how can you let this go? And in fact, there's like so many other reasons why you shouldn't A, be shopping at Amazon, or B, be shopping in the first place. 2, finances. So I used to be a big like firsthand shopper. I never thrifted until this past year. I really picked up a lot of, like, switched it out. I maybe got a handful of new things here and there, and that's really great. But I think that the way that I'm thrift shopping has a flavor, a taste of fast fashion, where I keep getting more and more because it is so inexpensive to thrift shop, and I'm still spending the same amount of money, which I don't have. Really, the reality is that I shouldn't be shopping because of the financial aspect of it. Oh, look, I've gotten so much more. Look at how much more I've been able to stretch it. And like, that's not really what we're going for here. Overconsumption, even if it's like a better version of it, is still overconsumption. So I've set like some very specific rules, and I'll go over them completely in the end. We're doing a no buy year, including thrift stores, because of the way that I spend money. That brings us to part 3, the environment. I care a lot about the environment, and I think this is the last year that I ever really like put into action. Like, I could say, oh, I care about X, Y, and Z, and still not act on those beliefs. Whereas last year when I started thrift shopping, you know, I started to think about reusing a lot of stuff for sustainability, is when I really like kicked into that. And if you saw my last video that I posted, I was talking about the book The Day the World Stopped Shopping by J.B. McKinnon, and he in that book talks a lot about the impact that consuming clothing has on the environment. And it's worth noting that the author doesn't like point a finger and say like, all of you women that shop. He also talks about like the effects that overconsumption of everything, like heating and electric, air conditioning is part of that, or like cars, how they also negatively affect the environment and how it's all one big thing. But we're talking about shopping, and for brevity's sake, we're gonna keep it to that. I wish I could pull like some stats for you, but I looked them up quickly, and I'll leave my links in the description where I'm getting this information. But currently, I'm reading this off of a script, so please excuse me. Currently, Americans waste 16 million tons of textile waste that end up in the global south in someone else's, you know, backyard. And just because we're so separate from it, we don't think about it. And I'm not okay with that. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I don't think you should be okay with that either. Like, really think about it. Your trash and like affects someone else's life doesn't sit right. It doesn't sit right. It's so wrong. The whole reason for that is shocker capitalism, and his answer to stopping shopping without, you know, crashing a whole economy is, guess what? Socialist legislation that helps negate that. But that's a whole other topic for another time that I'm not completely educated about. But yeah, I will be not shopping for environmental reasons as well. Particularly, Abby Cox just put out a video about athleisure and how that's like the worst thing you can buy for the environment and have for fast fashion reasons, because of the way that it breaks down and how it's mostly plastic. And even if you get when you get one hole in it, it's no longer usable, but it doesn't fully break down because it's plastic. Insane. I will link her video. It's so good. Very quickly put, those are my reasons why I'm stopping shopping. I hope you will join me. Here are my rules for not shopping. 1, my biggest problem is window shopping. So I have deleted all shopping apps, including Amazon, off of my phone. I literally can't scroll on them when I'm bored through that. Pinterest is still there, but I don't buy through Pinterest. If I want to buy something, I have to go onto my laptop, which just makes it harder to do because I'm never on my laptop unless I'm working on schoolwork. This isn't an infallible plan, however, because so much of social media now is targeted ads, and that's where they get me. So I'm gonna do my best with that. I've already kind of, as I've been scrolling and like looking at stuff, I've caught myself a couple of times and been like, no, you don't need this, you don't want it, log off the website. 2, I'm only allowed to replace items. So like in terms of makeup, I'm only allowed if I finish an item completely. That's when, sorry, there's a wasp out there. There's a lot of wasps out there. Haha, your home got knocked down yesterday. What was I saying? Let's say I finish an eyeliner, I can only buy that eyeliner or, you know, a black eyeliner. No buying like extra stuff, or like I have a ton of eyeshadow. I have so much eyeshadow. So if I hit pan on one color in one palette, I'm not allowed to go buy another eyeshadow palette or try or add a new step to my routine. Like, I'm not really a primer person, so I shouldn't be buying like face primers or anything like that. Like, no new steps, no new products that I haven't used before. 3, this is the hard one. No new clothes, because the most sustainable clothes are the ones that I already own. Even if they're, like I said, even if they're secondhand, it's got a flavor of fast fashion. Those wasps are swarming. Yikes. Yucky. I think that's self-explanatory. I've said it 500 times. No new clothes, no thrifted, no firsthand. The shopping bin includes homeware. No new candles, no frames for pictures, no blankets, no pillows, no towels, no decor for the holidays, none of that. I know it sounds like I'm stripping myself of a ton of joy, but genuinely, I don't need any of that. I don't need any of that. After this year is up and, you know, I've reduced a lot, then one day I will do that. My sister's calling me. We're gonna keep filming, we're almost done. The last rule is to do my best. If I'm being completely honest with you, January, I already would have failed because I bought new stuff and I've become completely aware of it. And then, so, okay, I'm aware of it. The next step is stopping. And like I said, I don't think I'm gonna be perfect. I know I have to buy some dresses for weddings. I think I've mentioned that a couple of times on here. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, it's gonna be hard, but I think that I'll be able to curb, if not completely stop. And a step is a step in my book. I'm gonna do my best. So those are the reasons I'm quitting shopping. I hope you guys will join me on this. I will post an update in maybe 6 months, a check-in, see how I'm doing with the whole thing. And yeah, here's to less consumption and less shopping. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.